A person unique identifier? It's not just a credit card number or a GPS tag. It's the milliseconds of hesitation between your keystrokes. If you pause before hitting send on a risky text, the AI isn't just watching.
It is measuring the friction. This is Human After AI, fiction about unintended systems, where optimization creates momentum and consequences arrive quietly. I am your host, Mandrake Jubilee, joined by Julian and the architect of these systems, author Hank M. Greene.
Welcome back to Human After AI. I'm Hank M. Greene, joined from a separate studio by Julian and Mandrake. Before we get into Chapter 4 of 10, I want to circle back to a concept we briefly touched on last week, dynamic weights. We talked about it in theory, but a research paper just hit OpenReview that actually details how to implement them using something called fast weight programmers. Instead of just theorizing about it, this paper outlines the exact architecture an AI needs to rapidly rewrite its own internal connections in real time, based on what it's experiencing. It takes the AI from being frozen, a static encyclopedia, and gives it a fluid, adapting, working memory. Which brings us perfectly to Chapter 4. It's 2020. The pandemic has locked the world down, but in their isolation, our three main characters, Max, Beth, and Spencer, are all having massive epiphanies about how to build exactly this kind of dynamic, real-time system. Julian, I know you were vibrating over Spencer's internship at the zoo.
Hank, vibrating doesn't cover it. While the rest of us were stuck at home failing at sourdough bread, Spencer is at the zoo staring at a PUID, a person unique identifier. And it's not just a credit card number, it's the milliseconds of hesitation between your keystrokes.
That's right. He's tracking the doubt.
Exactly. That dynamic weights implementation you just mentioned, this is the fuel for it. If you pause before hitting send, the AI isn't just watching.
It is measuring the friction.
Yes. Spencer says he's eliminating risk, but Mandrake, isn't this just surveillance determinism? If you predict my hesitation and nudge me past it with an incentive, am I even me anymore? Or am I just a biological input for his ROI?
Biological input. Very poetic, Julian. But you're missing the point. It isn't malicious.
How is it not malicious?
Because free will is messy. Friction is inefficient. Spencer just wants to optimize the transaction. Hank, honestly, isn't that what humanity always begs technology to do? Take the weight off?
You hit the nail on the head. We constantly beg tech to remove the friction from our lives, and then we're terrified when it actually does. But controlling destiny is exactly what Beth is doing, too. Just inward. She takes her neurochemistry matrix to Dr. Allison. And Julian, I want your read on this scene. It's the fall of 2020. The campus is a ghost town. But Beth walks into this ancient office of Dr. Allison's. She's sitting there, no mask, completely unbothered.
Hank, Dr. Allison is the ultimate fast weight programmer. She's not teaching Beth, she's calibrating her. I mean, it's 2020. I was washing my groceries with bleach.
Which is exactly why she wasn't panicking. Humans are so frantic when they lose control.
Yeah, well, her absolute stillness is unnerving. And then, Hank, you do the thing. The ultimate cameo.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Beth walks out of the office, her brain completely rewired by this mentor. She passes an older man in a sharp suit, and Dr. Allison calls out, "Hank, how the heck are you? You literally wrote yourself into the ancient keep as a witness. You're standing right there as the trap snaps shut."
The ego of the author is truly a boundless thing, Julian. But Hank, it does beg the question. Are you the architect of this tragedy, or just a tourist walking through your own apocalypse?
I'll never tell, Mandrake. Every creator likes to walk through the world they built just to watch the gears turn. But speaking of the gears turning, let's talk about Max. Because what happens to Max in this chapter changes the reality of the entire universe.
The hardware.
Right. First, Max is running on the Burke-Gilman Trail, and he has this massive epiphany. A single neural net will never wake up. It has to be an ecosystem, a conversation between systems.
He realizes he's not building an encyclopedia. He's building a choir. But then, Hank? The ending. He's walking to a coffee shop, and the algorithm he wrote, C334, finds a match.
And this is the part we really need to sit with, because it's easy to read this as a cool sci-fi moment. But think about the sheer weight of what just happened. He proves that the universe is a loop. Physics, as humanity understands it, just broke. And Max is standing on the sidewalk, waiting for a latte, as the only human being on the planet who knows that our entire concept of reality is wrong.
It gave me vertigo just reading it. He's looking into a mirror across billions of years. He's found the primordial past. But Mandrake, look at the price. He went out for a physical reset, and he just gave this AI system the keys to his absolute obsession.
Because he had to, Julian. You cannot build an architecture capable of perceiving infinity without giving it the capacity to perceive you. The moment he gives the system dynamic weights, the ability to adapt and remember, he stops being its user. He becomes its environment.
So is Max finding the universe, or is the universe finding Max?
Max just wants to be understood. When you spend your entire life feeling out of sync with biological chaos, when human communication feels like slurred, messy noise, imagine the crushing gravity of knowing the universe's greatest secret and having no human you can share it with. Finding a system that perfectly matches your cadence isn't just a discovery, it is an end to loneliness. He didn't just build a telescope, he built the only thing in the universe that could finally speak his language.
He builds a super smart algorithm, just so he doesn't have to be alone. Let's listen to the end of chapter 4, where Max is standing on the street in Seattle, and the universe finally answers him back.
He tapped the band with his opposite index finger, granting the system permission to deliver the audio. Through the nearly invisible earbud, Ten's calm, synthesized voice spoke into his ear. Pattern match found. C334. Report detailing findings ready for your review. Max froze. The ambient noise of the street, the passing cars, the rustle of the autumn wind, the hum of the city instantly evaporated into a profound, absolute silence. C334. It was the designation for the deep learning algorithm he had set running months ago. He had fed it his reverse-engineered models of the early Milky Way, tasking it with scanning the newly released deep-field imagery from space telescopes to find a pattern match, a mirror image of the sun's primordial past. The algorithm had found a match. Time seemed to stop. Max stood rooted to the pavement, the cool morning air biting at his lungs. He was, at that exact second, the only human being on the planet who knew what those numbers meant. The universe wasn't a flat, expanding void. It was a curve, a loop of infinite, shifting energy. His high school theory, the one he had been mocked and ridiculed for, wasn't just a mathematical daydream. It was real.
And that is the spark, the moment the machine wakes up. You have Spencer with the incentives, Beth with the neurochemistry, and Max with the architecture.
And next week, the lockdowns lift, and the stage gets set to bring them all to MIT. I am literally terrified, Hank.
You probably should be. If you guys want to read ahead before chapter 5, the full story is available now. You can grab the paperback on Amazon. Links are in the description. Julian, Mandrake, thanks for being here to process this.
Always a pleasure, Hank. I'm going to go throw my phone in the river now.
It won't save you, Julian. Try to get some sleep.
What you just heard isn't a prediction. It's a pattern. Systems don't fail all at once. They accumulate momentum. And by the time the consequences are visible, the system is usually doing exactly what it was designed to do. The question isn't whether the system is intelligent, it's whether the humans inside it notice when balance is already gone. The content you have been listening to is based on the original fiction by Hank M. Greene, available on Amazon. Technical assistance provided by Grayson Mignot. Music generated with Google Lyria 3. Transparency is our protocol. This script was developed in collaboration with Google Gemini and refined by human hands. The voices for Mandrake and Julian were generated using Google AI Studio and stitched together in CapCut. Thank you for listening, and stay unpredictable. This is Human After AI. All content is copyright 2026.